Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would try to do a tutorial for you guys. Now this is mainly for one of my clients, but it's something that a couple of my clients need to see, and it's something that I think the channel and audience out there can benefit from as a whole, but mainly I'm getting this uploaded because I have a client who needs to see this because he has a problem with arm bend on his conventional deadlifts. And this is a really common problem, and I apologize again if the audio is not beautiful in here. There's traffic outside. I've got my good mic and everything here in the weight room. Normally I use my fisheye lens, and yes, I know I look different without the fisheye lens on me. That's been noted before. So the problem we have with a lot of guys who, when they deadlift, they'll come over to the bar, and what you see is they'll squat down and see my arms just bent, and then they'll deadlift up like this, okay? I deadlift over 600 pounds. That hurt. That was actually painful for me to even demonstrate. So if 155 pounds is actually uncomfortable and slightly painful in my biceps and my low back as a 600-pound deadlifter, that's a problem. And the reason that happens is that because guys, number one, squat to the bar, and you never squat to a conventional deadlift, right? We covered that before on the sumo deadlift. You squat to a bar on a sumo deadlift. You do not squat to a bar on a conventional deadlift. Furthermore, you don't ever bend your arms. People say, well, what do you mean? I don't care if you've seen some fat, strong man with straps bend his arms and jerk. Okay, it's completely irrelevant. Number one, you're not a fat, strong man using straps. Number two, you do that too many times as a raw lifter, you are going to rip a bicep. Number three, you're going to take up to 50 pounds off the bar. I bet you my deadlift would go down 50 or 100 pounds if I did that. My 605-pound deadlift would turn into a 550 or a 500 if I tried to do that silly crap. And I would probably pull something. I would probably tear a bicep, or I would pull an erector in my back. We don't ever bend our arms. And here's one of the rules I'm going to say. When you approach a deadlift bar, for most of you out there, if at any point in your setup, your arm bends, you need to turn loose of the bar and step away from it. At no point when you contact a bar should your arms ever bend on a deadlift. What do I mean? Well, when we approach the bar, you come over and you grip the bar. I'm going to do double overhand instead of mixed. My elbows are locked. People will come over and they'll do this. You don't do that. If you need to pull on the bar to get slack out, you pull the slack out. Your elbows should be locked. They should never bend. So before you even reach down to deadlift, no matter what method you use, your elbows need to be locked out. Even if you come down and do it one hand at a time and pull yourself in, elbows are locked. Now, people will say, well, how do you get the slack out? What do you do to drop your hips? Okay, you don't do this. That was a squat. You grip the bar, elbows locked. To find your hip position, you do this. Okay, notice I didn't squat. I pulled myself into the bar. See the difference? Okay, watch that again. Okay, elbows are locked. You hear the pulling the slack out. Slack is out of the bar, it stays out. You don't let it come back in. To find your hip position, you pull yourself down. Okay? And then explode. You don't do this. Elbows are locked. You don't squat. You can start with your hips up and then pull them into position. Everything stays tight. Now I turned loose. Did you hear the bar tap? You hear the audible bar tap. You pull the slack out. That bar shouldn't make that sound again because that means you're getting loose. You're tight, you pull yourself in and then drive up. You don't squat to a bar because notice The difference, even if I tried to lock my elbows, if I squat to the bar, did you hear that? We dropped the slack out of the bar. It got loose. A loose bar at the bottom of a deadlift tears biceps, pulls erectors, reduces the amount of weight you can lift. You know, when you tell people to be explosive, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know what explosive means. They think that it means you start momentum and inertia before you start moving a weight. That's not what explosive is. Explosive is staying tight, and then once the weight starts moving, then you accelerate. Tight control. But one of the most important things I would say to anybody who's learning to deadlift, anytime your arm bends, you need to turn loose of the bar and step away and restart. Otherwise, you're going to hurt yourself. You don't ever squat to a conventional deadlift. You don't bend your arms. They're locked. And even if you do mixed grip, okay? Mixed grip, slack is out of the bar. Okay, did you hear the slack is out? Pull yourself into it. Brace, pull. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.